Hello and welcome to another episode of the Pig City Podcast. I'm your host, Zackery Ivey, and today we have a very, very special guest with us, a man who was just named the Old North State League Pitcher of the Week after going 8 innings, 0 walks, 0 runs, and 21 strikeouts. Yes, you heard that right, 21. We'll get into that game in a moment, but first, we want to introduce our guest. I'll let him introduce himself for our interview today.
Hi, my name's Tyler Brachbill. I'm from the middle of nowhere, Illinois, and I came down here because I know Blake Kimball that's on the team. The only reason
Okay.
I'm here.
All right. Well, that's one of the questions I don't have to ask later. So, but we are grateful for your time, and we're going to get to know you a little bit, talk about some of the things that have happened, and specifically that outing. But let's first go back. You mentioned you were from the middle of nowhere. What was it like growing up, and where'd you play your high school ball at?
Yeah, I played in Shelbyville, Illinois. It's like about an hour from Springfield. It was really weird growing up because like I wasn't close to any cities.
Hmm.
So like I grew up, I didn't eat half the restaurants that most people eat growing up. So
Okay.
I was always just the home cooked meals kind of guy. Baseball wise, it was very weird. I played a lot of really small schools.
Hmm.
Out of high school, I really didn't have any recruitment. I had one Division II offer, and then he ended up bringing me to Division 1 at NIU.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. So today you're sitting here, grateful for your time. What's a typical daily schedule like for you now that you're with the pigs this summer? What's a normal day look like for Ty?
Yeah, I've been sleeping in a lot more than I usually do. I wake up about probably 9 o'clock. That's late for me. Make some breakfast. Usually come over to Danny's house, the owner of the team,
Okay.
hang around with Blake and Westy, and then kind of show up to the field whenever we got to be there. Really, really calm.
Hey, that's nice. Yeah, I'm actually a teacher, so the summer I wake up about 8:30, 9 o'clock. It feels like I still have my day left, so uh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Okay, so we got that part covered with a little background. So in high school or middle school at any age, were you playing other sports or was it always just baseball?
Yeah, up until college, I played football and I ran track whenever baseball ended.
Okay, but were you clearly better at baseball, or did you think you might do something in another sport?
Honestly, I was better at football, I think. I would have
Oh,
had more recruitment, but since I was born, I've been baseball.
oh yeah.
Been kind of built into me, so it's always been where I wanted to take my life.
Hey, that's awesome, man. I am obsessed with baseball as well, but obviously you played, a little smaller area, and
Yeah.
uh, like you said, not a whole lot around. I'm guessing you weren't just pitching for the team.
Yeah, I hit and played shortstop.
Yeah, always got to have the best player there, right? That was not me. Um, so how is Lexington overall? I know you've been here for a little bit of time now. Again, you're just sharing your honest opinion. So,
Yeah. No,
how's it been
I
so far?
I absolutely love it here. It's a whole different environment. Like what been telling like Danny and everyone around me, it's like when you're up in Illinois, like you will talk to people, but like you don't really talk to them. You don't
Hmm.
really know them. And like if you're just like walking through a grocery store, everyone has their heads down in their phones. You can't really talk to people. It's weird. Down here, I've had a lot of conversations that I never thought I would have had.
That's awesome, man. That's encouraging to hear. I'm sure for all the Lexington citizens that may be tuning into this. Yeah, I personally think that, and maybe it's for myself as well, but once the weather is not cold anymore, it's a great place to be. People are happy,
Yeah.
they're out, they're friendly.
Yep.
Not the biggest fans of cold, but yeah, very good. So you mentioned you were Northern Illinois, I believe. Is that what you
Yes.
said?
Yes, sir.
So you had a friend that he was already on the team, or you just knew he was coming here. How did your friend end up on the team?
Yeah. Blake Kimball, he's been down here for about 3 years. We grew up playing summer ball together. I've known him since I
Okay,
was probably 8, I'd say.
gotcha.
So yeah, he gave me that opportunity to come down here, so I wanted to enjoy the summer, so why not?
Hey, that's awesome. Yeah, yeah. I know he was there. I just was like, I wonder how they meet up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
all right, let's get into maybe what some of the people are here for. And again, just to be clear, I was trying to set up some of these things with any of the pigs teammates. So if any of you guys want to be on
Mhm.
after, just let me know. But then you decided to completely steal the show and kind of jump everybody in line and say, you know what? I know this isn't who you are from anything I've been told or heard, but your play said, "Hey, look at me, look what I'm doing. This is something special," and we're going to get into that a little bit. So, an absolute masterclass. Again, 21 strikeouts. That it really doesn't even seem realistic. 8 innings pitch. Has it set in for you like how insane that really is?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely one of my best outings. There's a couple here and there that I think I could have changed, done even better, but I'm always gonna be hard on myself no matter the outcome.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit as well. But what going into that game, what was your mindset, or was there anything different, or just kind of the same thing as normal?
I mean, same thing as normal. I was just trying to have fun. I was out playing hacky sack with the boys before the
Mm,
game, just like normal, any other day. Um, no, it's just all the confidence in the world. Go throw the ball.
love that. So, what is a normal game day routine, specifically when you're pitching for a tie on a game? Just
Yeah, like I said, I play hacky sack, and then I'm a pretty quick warm up, so I'll head over about 30 minutes before I need to get going and stretch out a little bit, throw some plyos, do some dynamic warm up, and then start throwing.
okay. And this actually wasn't one of the planned questions, but I'm just curious of this because I've spent a little bit of my time not playing, not because I was just an absolute stud pitcher and had to recover, but maybe somebody else was playing over or not. But was it a tough transition when you were going from, I'm assuming playing every day, batting at the top of the lineup to you would pitch and then be out for a little while? Was that hard to stay involved?
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. First thing I said is like, this is boring. Freshman year when I kind of started pitching only, and it was definitely a transition to go from doing everything to doing one specific thing.
Yeah,
Especially going from three sports to one sport and one specific thing in that sport. It was a lot to take in, I guess.
right. No, that has to be a mental toll for sure. So you were mentioning you fully went into pitching, obviously going to your freshman
Yeah.
year at Northern Illinois. How have you been developing your pitches? It looks like it's fastball, slider, two equally almost used pitches for obviously you know how to strike people out. That's very
Yeah.
evident. But is that something you made a focus on at a certain point the past couple years?
Yeah, this last year I learned that slider. It's more of like a gyro slider. It's kind of like a cutter,
Mm,
but I throw it at 84, 84-ish in comparison to like my curveball is just my old slider. It's at 77. It's more of
okay,
a downward motion.
nice. Do you know the name Dice K?
Dice K. No, I do not.
Okay, so this makes me feel really old. So there was this guy probably I was probably middle school to high school, and he was coming to the MLB, and it was this guy wrote this pitch, and it was promoted in all of. I sound really old with magazines too, but in all the Sports Illustrated, it's like this pitch has never been seen, and then it's like within 3 years, it's like everybody had a variation.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just vividly remember that, so it was a little callback. But yeah, he's okay. I mean, he was in the MLB obviously, but hopefully you'll have a better career than his ended up. But anyways, so are you? Whenever you're going into the game, and you don't want to give everyone the full recipe to how it's all made. But when you're going into it, do you have a certain plan as far as how we're going to have sequencing for this team or these specific batters? Or since it's kind of this league where you're not as familiar, is it kind of just start ahead and just work through it?
Yeah, this league definitely it's just kind of like read the swings, read what their approach is throughout the at bats, and
Mhm.
just figure out what gets them out in this situation. I guess you could say.
Okay. Yeah, I guess playing in a bunch of different leagues, you have to have a lot of uh, faith in what's being called in your catchers as well. So that's another good life lesson there. Um, your coach said after the game, and we'll get into your coach here in a little bit, but he said after the game that you were, I believe the phrase was something of you weren't just throwing, you were pitching. What does that distinction like mean for you specifically, or do you have any specific thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, instead of just like taking this pitch, throwing it, it's everything. Everything has a purpose. I like to tell our guys that when they're out there
Mm,
on the mound, it's everything has to have a purpose. So if you want to throw a curveball down to set up whatever's next, everything has a purpose behind it. Really setting yourself up for success.
I maybe the best answer I've heard. I coach middle school, and that is like our number one phrase is like do everything with the purpose. Everything
Yeah,
matters, and so
absolutely.
uh, maybe it'll be encouragement to some youth as well of being able to do this at the highest level. Yeah, your coach was talking about like you really don't see this. You had 10 or 11 strikeouts in a row at this
Mhm.
level with these guys where they obviously know how to hit and at least put the ball in play. So, yeah. Has there been another time I mentioned you said it was one of your best outings? So I caught that. Maybe you had another. Was there a time where you felt even more locked in, or in those moments? I guess the question is, how do you not like focus on exactly how what happening is and just stay consistent? Sorry if that was a little.
Yeah, high school, I had, I think, two outings where it was absolutely dominant. I think the first outing of my senior year, I threw a no hitter with 20 strikeouts in 7 innings.
Wow.
And then later that year, I threw a perfect game with 18 strikeouts, I think it was. But yeah, staying focused. I mean, I tend to do better when I'm just relaxed and having fun. So going in the dugout, laughing with the guys, talking crap here and there, yeah, it keeps me locked in, having fun, but not too locked in, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that's awesome. So it doesn't seem like you're one of those Max Scherzer types where they say all game
No,
he
not at
just
all.
yeah, he doesn't
Yeah.
speak to anyone. Like he's kind of a jerk to everybody. So that's awesome. That's good to hear. So like I said, your coach said he was kind of shocked, impressed, and I know you've only been around for a little bit. What kind of impact has your pitching coach had on you this summer? Obviously, he's played at the highest of levels, and how has he impacted you as far as maybe his mentality or something mechanical that you're doing?
Yeah, no, he's really been big on just like the little cues, like in the bullpens, change this and it gets where you're at. And then you
Hmm.
take those little cues into the game. So when you're messing up something, it's really easy to get back where you want to be. Just having those little cues.
Good answer. That's impressive. It's always nice when you have somebody that's like, "Hey, trust me, it's going to work," and then it works.
Yep. Yeah.
You mentioned very early on in this interview, again, thank you so much for being here, but you mentioned that sometimes you don't want to be too hard on yourself, reflecting back on, on that 1-2 count. Why did I throw it here? Or if I got a little more off the plate. How do you keep from being too hard on yourself? And how are you learning to like kind of mentally work through that this summer?
Yeah. To be honest, it's all through God. Like I said in my article, I like to draw a little cross on the back of the mound.
Mm.
So anytime that I kind of feel like I'm getting a little flustered or upset, I'll look at that and just try to like reset, lock in, and know that it's all for a reason. There's a purpose behind it.
Yeah. So that was actually the next part I was getting to. So thank you for that transition there. As much as I absolutely love baseball, and I do, I mean, I could show you. I have 5, 6 screens set up. I'm just constantly watching, and I'm just obsessed with the game. But honestly, this was more meaningful to me and more impactful. That this part of your life is more significant, obviously, and more everlasting. But you had mentioned where you drew the cross behind the mountain. What age did that start? Like, how long have you been doing that?
I've been doing that since probably sophomore year of high school.
And you had mentioned, I saw this was shared, that you said, I would want ESPN to see that cross. And I thought that was just
Yeah,
such a,
absolutely.
like, we've seen examples of this with athletes before, but I just think when you are able to achieve greatness in this one game where you're amazing, and one of the first things you say is, yeah, but I want it to be seen on something else. That was just so powerful. And so I don't really have a question on that. I just wanted to kind of encourage you to like continue to do that. Like it is an
Yeah,
awesome thing to
absolutely.
see. Um, but something that I, struggle with, whether it's frustration and driving or something at school or, the game doesn't go the right way or I'm watching and the Reds lose another heartbreaker, but that's another story for another day. How do you keep your faith steady, like regardless of performance? Sometimes it's easy, to praise on the mountaintop, but whenever we
Yeah,
have
no, absolutely.
so what are some things maybe you do to kind of stay grounded and stay, content whenever things aren't going well?
Yeah, no, actually I recently finished up reading Job, which
Mm.
it's the best story I've ever read. I mean, he lost everything and was still praising. So I like to strive to be like Job. Sometimes I'll tell myself that out on the mound, it's be like him no matter what's going on. You you have your faith in him, and that's more important than anything.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And it seems like you're already doing a good job of this, but as you read a little further on in that, it's he doesn't even doubt anything until his friends start questioning, like, "Hey, are you sure this
Yep,
is good?" So again, surrounding yourself with good people, that's awesome. And again,
absolutely.
super encouraging, dude. That's really, really cool. So this Flying Pigs team, it seems like I don't know if you're aware of this, and I've not been able to come out to a game yet, which my schedule is way more free now. So as long as the weather clears up, I plan on being out there. But um, this team is getting this like kind of really fast growing fan base, especially like just with people sharing and on there. Is it? Do you kind of feel that? Is it cool to say like, oh, it's something new, it's something fun that a lot of people in this city are really excited about?
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to have a community behind you. Up at NIU, we didn't really have very much. We have maybe a couple hundred fans at the max, which most games were not that. So yeah, having these people all behind my back, all wanting the same thing, it's really really nice to be a part of. I guess you could say.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I will tell you this: if you will have the support of a lot of these people no matter where you go. That is a really cool thing. I can promise you
Yeah,
that it'll. So yeah, this may not be something you've been able to reflect on yet, or even really fully aware of, but this field has a lot of history to it. I'm pretty sure like Bobby Bonds, Barry Bonds'
yeah,
dad,
yeah. That's
played here.
what Danny mentioned when we first got here.
Okay, yeah. So they're doing a good job of that. So if you obviously things are going fast and you're having calm days, but have you been able to sit and think like how crazy it is the amount of players and talent and like people that have been
Yeah,
on this field?
yeah. It's definitely something that's very unique and kind of honoring, I guess you could say, to be able to play on the same surface as someone that was so great before me.
Yeah, and I mean not just play. I mean you're dominating, dude. That's crazy. Um, the pigs seem like just looking around. They've at least done one or two things this year. I know in the past they have done more. In the future they'll do more. But they're really focused on kind of outreach. Is
hmm
that something that's really important to you, not just with the pigs, but and then second question, is there something in the future you kind of see yourself being involved with in that?
Yeah, I mean, outreach is always really important. Getting to the right people, getting everyone involved. Me personally, I like to outreach with my faith. So, like, really exposing people who may not have had the luxury of knowing God, have the chance to kind of like realize what's going on, what they need.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good, man. I think I saw something about, and you can completely correct me if I'm wrong. You said you had a very strong relationship with your grandpa, with your
Yeah, yeah,
uncle. Okay, so
absolutely.
and somebody that was, a huge influence in my life as well. As a matter of fact, like he recently passed away, but one of the things that was shared at his funeral was my love for sports and baseball was mainly with him and through him, and I didn't really take note of that. But do you have any moment or story you want to share of just an impact he had, or even just something fun that you would like people to kind of look into? Why it was so important to you?
Yeah, I mean, since I started pitching, he's been in with me working on pitch stuff. So I've always had a pitching coach,
Mm.
and he played a little bit of I think it was semi-pro ball. He was a catcher, but
Oh,
yeah, he's worked with me from the moment I started pitching up until I got to college.
oh, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, there's no better way to learn pitching than pitching to someone that's been catching the whole time.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
so who are some of your favorite pitchers, whether past or present, like to watch?
It's got to be Nolan Ryan and Greg
Ah,
Maddux, obviously. Um,
okay, just the extremes
they,
of both.
yeah,
I got you.
yes, they each had their own unique way and they dominated. So it was always fun to watch.
Okay. So are you a fan of a certain MLB team, or you just the sport as a whole?
Yeah, my family's always grown up loving the Cubs. They're finally doing
Yeah,
okay this year.
yeah.
Uh,
They just got to get Cal Tucker locked up, man. That's
yeah, yeah, they're not going to lock up anyone.
yeah. Hey, they're playing well though, so you can enjoy
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
whatever works.
All right. So I'm actually kind of curious about this next part, and again, thanks for being grateful with your time. Not
Yeah, of
much
course.
more here left. You're currently in the transfer portal, correct?
Yes, sir.
Can you kind of explain? Because as someone who has followed sports forever, but everything seems so different and kind of crazy now. First off, before we can get into the next part, what does that process actually look like? Like you submit your name, you notify the team. What does it actually look like to enter the transfer portal?
Yeah, you for me, I had to go talk to my compliance officer, kind of get everything set up, and then the day that it officially opened, they just put me in, and then coaches can start reaching out. The name goes into like a list of all the people in it and all the contact information, everything, and then put stats and videos out on Twitter and go from there.
Okay. Well, maybe we can help in a 1% way. So, what are you looking for in a new program?
Yeah, I want a place that I can really, really develop and figure out what works for me. Everything is different for each person. So, really figuring out what it is that I need as a pitcher will take me to that next level.
Okay. And it sounds like you have, surround yourself with people to give wisdom for that as well.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
what would your message be? You kind of hinted on it there, but What would your message be to any scout or team that may be wanting to add Ty to their team?
Yeah, I'm willing to do anything to win. That's my biggest thing. I'm a real sore loser, so I love to win.
Okay, so no Ralphie Devers. Got it. Sorry, that I can't get over that story. Um, is it hard to kind of stay present and stay locked in with everyone's future is uncertain, but like legitimately you don't know where you're going to be next year playing baseball. Is it hard to stay in the moment whenever your future seems more uncertain? I think this obviously speaks to a larger thing, but how has that been for you?
Yeah, it's obviously hard not knowing where you're going, but I've tried my best to just kind of take it one day at a time and relax. I've been blessed to have a couple real good situations reach out, so just kind of weighing my options, but getting close to a decision for
Okay.
sure.
I was going to say, I wonder if there's, obviously you don't want to say anything, but if there's any specific ones. But when that is reached, we will fully endorse you and support you and hope that the best is yet to come for you. Any
Yeah.
message you would want to send for the Flying Pigs fans or somebody that's, deciding what to do with their Tuesday afternoon or it's Thursday and they see there's a game? Why should they come out and see you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we're dangerous on so many levels, pitching, hitting, everything. So yeah, come out and watch and really get a show out of it, not just a game.
Okay. Well, I'm nearing the end here. Again, thank you once again. I've told you thank you about 5 times now, but I can't thank you enough. Is there any final thoughts you would want people to say as far as anything you would want to share or any closing remarks from yourself?
Yeah, no, God bless you all. That's about all I got.
All right, Ty, thank you so much. Best of luck the rest of the summer. Everybody tuning in, here's what you need to do. Obviously, like, comment, let Ty know you're so thankful he was able to join us. Wish the pigs the best of the luck. Let our guests know. Hopefully, we'll have more on in the future, even from the pigs. And if you're near Lexington or you're deciding whether or not to go, just go. You never know when you might just see somebody throw 21 strikeouts in a game, and who knows when you'll see that again. So, thank you all for tuning in. And Ty, thank you for being here. And that will be the end of this episode. See ya.
Yeah. See ya.